if these comets or whatever that enter our solar system, interstellar objects, are like patches that are supposed to fix something in the solar system? Like if you have a simulation going on, sometimes you have to write codes to fix some bugs and shit. Either patches or viruses. When Oumuamua in 2017 passed through solar system, we had the first article in New York Times about UFO and those footage that came out.
Oh, okay.
And in 2019, there were another one that passed through Borisov, they called it, I guess.
Yeah.
And we had the coronavirus pandemic on the planet.
That's true. I know that comets are often thought of as bringers of change or new energies.
Well, the new one I discovered last night that I probably heard about it, but I mistaken it for Trioi Atlas. But no, there is another one that entered our solar system kind of simultaneously with the same trajectory, but from a different direction.
You think they might hit each other?
No, they're gonna. The prediction is they're gonna pass by each other.
All right.
And they're not gonna hit the Earth. So let's make that clear.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that.
R2 Swan is the other one that comes. It's 100 times bigger than Trioi Atlas.
Okay. Wow.
Like if you wanna have an idea how big it is, like 5 times bigger than the moon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so big.
Yeah.
A voice in my head just said, Galactic Federation. Huh? That ain't the half of it, mate. I don't know what that means.
Someone talks shit about Galactic Federation.
No. I'm just saying that they're like small fish.
All right.
I don't know.
Yeah. So,
hello.
how's it hanging?
You really? No, you don't want to know that.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what I want to know.
No, I don't know what I do know. I know what I think I know, but I doubt there's much truth to it.
All right, though.
Certainty. That's something I really would like to, and I'm not even certain about what I'm saying about certainty, but I feel that any moment that I decide how things are is not a very good moment. I'm just realizing how really important it is to keep open mind to everything.
So you mean whenever you have a solid idea of what reality is, it goes to shit?
Yeah. Well, I was getting to that.
You were about to use different words, but pretty much it.
I just want to say that to our followers too, because I mean we present a lot of stuff here that is pretty out of the box and pretty, don't want to say weird, but not everyday stuff. I really think it's so important that we come back to what we feel in the heart, what is reality for us, and that there, in my opinion, is no set truth or right or wrong about a subject, a thing, whatever. It's because how the world is to us is how we see it, how we create it. If we look into quantum physics, they will tell you this. The old story: if a tree falls down in the forest, does it make any noise if no one's there listening? Anyway, enough of that blah blah rave. Let's get on with it. I know we've got some goodies to look at today.
No, what I'm thinking is that here we just try to bring up ideas that are a little more, outside the focus of most big channels.
And I'm really glad for that.
I mean, there are channels that are big and cover the same topics, to be fair, and they have big following and
Yes.
they're very successful with what they're doing. But I think what I'm trying to do is look at it from a different angle. I just don't present things. I try to like make some type of assumption as well.
Yes.
And
Sure.
I'm trying to connect all of these weird fringe topics to make some type of sense out of it.
Good.
And it's not necessarily always the case to make sense out of them. It's just put it out there, what can be. And sometimes it comes across as a motivational speech. But that's not my goal. I don't think I'm qualified to like be a motivational speaker or like try to motivate people. Not necessarily, because it's like sometimes it comes across as a motivational speech, but that's not my intention. My intention is just to express how I would feel about this topic.
Sure.
How I would bring it down to everyday life and use it somehow. What would be my perspective?
Good. Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to do. That's what we trying to do with all these different topics that we talk about. We try to like make sense of the part of the life that is not being recognized or acknowledged as much as it needs to be. And we just want to get to the point like, okay, let's acknowledge all that.
Yes.
All these things that we mentioned here. How is it going to affect our life for better or worse? And I'm just trying to find something positive, or like even if something is bad and evil and negative, at least you know how to not let it affect you.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So this is the whole goal with this, with covering these topics here. And
well done.
It's from all sides of spectrum. It's not only like, oh yeah, we're conspiracy theories, or like, oh no, pure science. You know, it's like, it's probably a mix of all of them.
Yes.
If you want to have a recipe for so-called reality, you have to look from different angles, different lenses, and trial and error, and to get to some type of solid idea about reality. And then everything goes back to shit, because as soon as you feel like, oh, I figured it out, it throws you another curveball.
And also because every single one of us have our own version of reality, and they're all true for each one of us. So there you go. But really good to explore. I'm right with you. It's brilliant.
I think, yeah, exactly. If you have that, how do you say, approach to have a scientific method about something that consider conspiracy theory, and go through it with the scientific method and see, okay, yeah, these are look like a fact, or look like can be true, and these are just like bullshit, just being mixed layers on top of each other. And then you can see like, okay, no. Just because something is not 100% true doesn't mean like all of it is bullshit.
No.
And then you can read between the lines, or take the things that is right and correct out of it, and, you know, add to your case.
The old saying, all things have some truth, but no one thing has all the truth. I do believe in that.
Yeah.
But I also question what truth is regularly to myself. What is my truth anyway? And it changes every 5 minutes.
Yeah, the definition of it.
That's a really hot topic. I don't know if we should go too deep into that right now. But I mean, another time, absolutely, because it's something in the back of my mind all the time. This idea of truth and reality. It's really tricky, because we think they're solid objects, but they're not. Oh, I'm going on about it. Well, let's leave it there for now.
All right, let's get to some interesting stuff, that
Yes.
interesting news and developments on these interstellar objects that come in
Oh,
through our
yes.
solar system.
Quite a few of them, I believe, on the way towards us.
Well, the new one I discovered last night, that because I probably heard about it, but I mistaken it for Trioi Atlas. But no, there is another one that enter our solar system kind of simultaneously with the same trajectory, but from a different direction.
You think they might hit each other?
No, they're
good.
gonna, the prediction is they're gonna pass by each other,
All right.
and they're not gonna hit the Earth. So let's make that clear.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. I know that comets are often thought of as bringers of change or new energies. When you think of it astrologically, how much the stars all influence the movements of our tides and the seasons and everything, those comets must have some profound effect in some way on us too. I mean, apart from hitting us, which I hope none of them do, I'm sure that there is information there amongst astrologers, and I'm thinking of my dear cousin Kim. Might be interesting to check in with her again soon and see if she
Yeah, we should invite her to talk about these giant, because these are the R2 Swan is the other one that comes. Is 100 times bigger than Trioi Atlas.
Okay. Oh.
Like if you wanna have an idea how big it is, like 5 times bigger than the moon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so big.
Yeah. So
Sounds
imagine,
like a planet to me. Cool.
yeah, whatever. But it
Well,
doesn't
we
have
don't-
the characteristic of a planet, but
Yeah, no, I
it
understand
has
that.
the mass of a planet and is passing through. So whenever this type of huge mass moves into solar system or wherever it moves, it affects everything around it
Oh, for sure.
because
Yeah.
it has the gravity,
Yeah.
like a strong gravity because of the huge mass that it is. So of course it's gonna affect.
That's really exciting.
And
I
we-
hope it's good.
Yeah, hopefully. But we only think about like, okay, what's the physical impact of it? You know, we are very like, focused on like, okay, if this doesn't happen, then who cares what it is?
Sure.
But they don't see like, yeah, we think like we're not influenced by moon, sun, stars, whatever, the planetary positions. We just think like, no, life is you wake up and
Yeah.
deal with your shit and go back to sleep. That's it.
Wow.
Oh, I don't know, like moon, like why when it's full moon there are more crimes committed.
Yeah, I know why, because
know what?
people can't sleep, so they got to do something.
And yeah, it's just like brings something up in
Yeah.
you, like when it's like a full moon. And
Well, it does, and I mean, it affects animals too.
I like a scientist to break it down for me, like how big of an impact, because astrologers is Kim astrologist.
She's an astrologer. Yeah.
Astrologers, they believe like, okay, these planets have the biggest impact in our birth chart and
That's right.
everything, like
Yeah.
our whole life. It was like kind of determine how we're gonna end up in the life,
How
rich, poor,
Yeah.
healthy, like all that.
how the movements of them affect us. Yes.
Yeah,
That's-
depends on our time of birth.
Yes.
That's what I mean. Like this has a direct effect on us
Yes.
individually.
Yeah.
And scientists say bullshit, most of them. But I like to have a scientist that have give a little more credit to it. Like
Of course.
break it down
Yeah.
with a scientific method and like look at it through the lens of science and see, okay, how? Yeah, okay. The gravitational pull or this or that. Like, I want to have a breakdown. So
Yeah, that would be very interesting. But you don't have to be too smart to see how our two closest celestial bodies affect us, the sun and the moon. I mean, the sun makes us hot or cold. You know, I mean, it's pretty obvious, isn't it?
I think it's really hard to deny the effects
Yeah.
that sun has.
And the moon creates tides
And the moon, yeah.
and seasons. Yeah.
Yeah, but these two are like we don't need scientists or astrologers
No,
to
I
tell
know.
us
Yeah, of course.
they affect us. We can detect it ourselves in our
Yeah.
daily life.
And they're the two closest, so they have the most obvious effects. But it doesn't mean that distant ones don't have some effect. And I have no idea how that works, but I do believe there's some truth in it, of course. And if you imagine a whacking great comet the size of a planet hurtling by us, it's got to do something to us. I hate to think what. I hope it's good stuff, but of course it must. I mean, that's just logic, isn't it? It's nothing to do with woo-woo energies and things. It's just pure logic.
Okay,
it's
let's
an
just-
electromagnetic body. You know?
Let's just go through it. When Oumuamua in 2017 passed through solar system, we had the first article in New York Times about UFO and those footage that came out.
Oh, okay.
And in 2019, there was another one that passed through Borisov, they called it, I guess.
Yeah,
And we had the coronavirus pandemic on planet.
that's true. I'm not sure if that was any link to that, but who knows? It could have been.
And now there are two incoming.
Right, for later this year. Wasn't it?
Yeah, 2025.
Is it November? Somewhere there, I think.
I think it was September. It's very soon.
We're in September now, so
Yeah.
okay.
End of September or October.
Okay.
Very, very soon,
Soon. Okay.
regardless.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And who knows what's going to happen then? Especially with the current state of our world.
I'm just going to say it's kind of upset enough already. But God knows what if something more happens. Mamma mia. Oh,
Hopefully something good.
maybe they calm everything down and we get a few boring days with no headlines. Think of that. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Yeah, that would be good. Well needed.
All the wars stop and all the propaganda that's flying around the planet goes up in smoke and wow. Now
Who
we're
knows?
talking. Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, do you want to see the trajectory of them?
Yeah, shall we do that?
Yeah, I can show
It's
you.
a good idea. My mum was an astrologer. She would love this.
Oh,
She quit when I was born. But she put a lot of energy into it before that.
Woke people up. Now 3i Atlas is approaching, and there's about a 5-degree difference between where all of our planets rotate in symmetry. They're coming directly in line at the same angle perfectly, right? Which is freaking strange. R2 Swan is about 100 times bigger than 3i Atlas. The cometary tail is about 5 moons long. Okay, so look at the moon, imagine 5 of them, it's huge. Now we know that these comets do interact with our sun. The supercharged particles that get emitted into the space around our solar system causes more so solar flares and things of that nature getting fired off and around and changes, all right? And
you know what idea comes to my mind when I hear that?
Uh-oh.
What
Yeah.
if these comets or whatever that enter our solar system, interstellar objects, are like a patches that are supposed to fix something in the solar system?
Uh-huh.
Like if you have a simulation going on, sometimes you have to write codes to fix some bugs and shit.
Ah, what a great idea. Wow.
Yeah,
That's brilliant.
but who knows? And it can be either patches or viruses.
Let's hope they're bullshit killers.
Yeah.
So we don't have to listen to all this crap on the media all the time. I just don't look anymore. It's too much.
Good.
Yeah, Good, brilliant, Marnie. Bring it on.
Yeah, hopefully. I don't know. I'm trying to turn it to something positive.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do we got here then?
Yeah, because we have these cave paintings of the same kind of objects, like,
Yes.
and people seeing it, witnessing it with their naked eyes, supposedly.
Yeah.
But they
We're
they
talking
have,
about comets here now.
yeah,
Yeah. I know Halley's Comet happens to be one of those. I can't remember where the painting is, but I know it, and I don't know how they knew it was Halley's Comet. But in the last couple of 100 years, it's been here twice. I know it came in 1986 because I saw it, and I remember reading then that there were records of it in some ancient cave paintings. That's fantastic. Yeah. So this, of course, it's nothing new. There've always been comets, and I know I'm sure that they collide with planets occasionally too, and do all sorts of naughty stuff to solar systems. Let's hope it's not our turn.
Okay, this one is a little out there.
Yes.
Yeah, I watched this new channel on TikTok. Is a new TikToker. I don't know if he just do that to like grow his channel, but supposedly he watched a meteor falling down from the sky. He filmed it and he's like documenting everything, filming everything, and he saw falling down. He goes to his backyard or to the woods close to his house and like pick up small pieces that he found and brings it home and like put it in. You want to see the video?
Yeah, let's have a look at
The whole process of what's.
Yeah.
The meteor turned to a goo and like some type of life form is like growing on it. It can easily be fake. I don't know.
I know that bacteria and amoeba have been found in other meteorites. I don't know anything about this one, but so maybe it's not that strange.
No, the idea of it can be easily possible.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
the authenticity of it, I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Well, we can't know that.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are many theories, and it feels real for me too, that this is how the first life came to our planet.
So here it is.
First off, I want to say thanks to Kin for giving us the opportunity to see this firsthand and documenting it so clearly. You know, this man has a well-standing profile. He posts about normal things for years and all of a sudden starts posting this footage. I don't have any reason to believe it's AI. What started to grow off of this meteor.
So this is hard to fake with AI.
Okay. Yeah.
Had life reactions to it, or has life reactions to it. It moves. It's not feeding off anything. It's not getting air. He's kept it in the dark for the most part. He has put it out in the sun. It doesn't seem to affect it. The crash site here is what's really got my attention. It glows phosphorescently or luminescently rather around the site, which is interesting because we find all this luminescent and phosphorescent stuff out of Mexico. And, you know, it's not something that's common in our world, so it's very interesting to see it in this fashion with no blacklight stimulation whatsoever. I would be curious to see what a blacklight would do to this area, for sure. So, as he continued, you know, every day posting the progress of what...
You see, it's getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And I watched the latest video, and it turned to some type of creature, like a Venom.
Okay.
That's why I'm like, okay, is that... I don't know if it was from his channel or from another channel. Maybe they trying to fake something and related to his channel or his videos.
This thing's doing. He's posted, you know, dozens of videos. I think there's...
What I'm trying to say, I haven't dived deep into what's going on with it. I just heard it. I was like, okay, let's just mention it in the podcast.
Good.
But
Yeah.
I can get more information on it and let you know if it's legit or not.
Close to 20 videos of this. I'm posting some here to bring awareness to this, to try to get people to
I
go
wouldn't
to
fucking touch
TikTok
it,
and
though.
follow this.
No, I wouldn't either.
Whatever it is, I wouldn't touch it.
Looks like it's got a mouth there.
Yeah. I'm 7 episodes deep in Alien Earth, so I know better to not touch it.
Man, to keep up with this. You know, a lot of people reached out to him and asked for, biological samples so they could put it into the lab and see what the heck we're dealing with. You know, the curiosity is very high on this. However, I feel that the danger is also very high if that's the case. He thought it was a plant to begin with. And here we are, as it continues to grow and he continues to post it, they're starting to call it Venom. It looks like a black...
See now, they
right.
started to call it Venom.
Yeah.
It turns to like something creepy. And now, the latest video I saw, I'm going to show you that video. I'm not sure if it's from his channel or if it's, legit or fake AI generated. But, okay, let's see this and then I'm going to play the other one.
Thing, black goo of some form, but it's got definite life form. It moves and it was just staying on the meteor and flexing its little tentacles and things of that nature for many days. He started to take samples for scientists. He had the bravery to go in and start cutting these things and creating these samples in these jars, which seem to still have life form. They could be
Gary Nolan, sir. Get on it.
like clones. They may regrow or regenerate. The fact that it's not eating and provides such a life form is very interesting. When the meteor came out, before anything was growing off of it, he had a plant on his desk and it literally killed the leaf that it touched and or that it was close to. And so he did multiple other tests and showed us that this thing just literally will eat the biological material and burn it up. So as you can see, this thing continues to grow, and this is after he's taken samples off of it. Quite bizarre. I really am speechless. However, doing the work that I do, I know there's a lot of disclosure issues. You can see it with our congressional hearings. You can see it with the Nazca mummies finally making it to certain mainstream profiles like Jesse Michaels and Joe Rogan. People are starting to take the Nazca mummies more seriously. I don't know how to even take this. The fact he's touching this with his hand here, it creeps me out, to be honest. I mean, this needs to be in a very secure area. This
needs to be done with hazmat suits and shit.
The only thing I don't know about all this life business, but any other meteor or meteorite I've seen is usually quite dark colored, dark brown. Because they usually have very high iron content. That one was white. I'm not saying it's fake.
It was grey.
Grey, all right. Yeah, there you go.
Metallic almost.
Oh, okay.
Silver.
Yeah.
But
not dark. That's my point.
Yeah, but they're not carrying a life form. Maybe that's the reason.
Yeah. I'm just doing a little my skeptical number here, dude.
Yeah.
We have a meteorite in New Zealand. It landed in my grandfather's garden in Sri Lanka in early 1900s. It's just a big hunk of iron from what I can see. Extremely heavy. It would fit in your hand like this. But, normal rock, it's not much. You lift this up and it's like, you have to really strain a little bit to lift it. And no goo has come out of it.
No life form.
No, not to be know of.
Be an invasive species. Scientists have predicted that certain octopus and life forms on Earth, they just showed up here one day. They feel that they may have came by meteor or asteroid, which in this case, I mean, it is what it is. You can see the thing has separated itself from the meteor. It is now a functional life form. Still seems to be gripping onto it, but has detached itself also. So I don't know if the ambient radiation, gamma rays, electromagnetic frequencies, whatever this thing's producing that killed the plants, could be feeding the life form here. I'll be anxious to see what the scientists come up with that he's shipping it to. I pray for all of their safety. I pray for our safety on this, as it could be an invasive species that we are unaware of, and he may have just cloned it dozens of times and sent it all over the world, making it, potentially something that could.
Oh, what a wise move.
Yeah. Okay, here's my skeptical me coming again. Why haven't the authorities jumped on it?
Well, if they do, they're not going to let you know. They're going to let people know.
But yeah, well.
I mean, he's doing a great service by putting up these videos.
Sure.
If there is any truth to it.
I'm not saying,
because otherwise we wouldn't hear it from anywhere.
That's my point.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised.
And he already chopped it up to 100 or 1,000 pieces and sent it all over the world, probably. And it did the mission already. It's all over the world. If it turns out to be something
interesting.
Yeah, we're gonna
be continued.
We're gonna have Venoms all over the globe. All right, let's see.
Cause a threat, seeing how fast it grows. The fact it got off of the tray in the safe, closed in there, moved the glass lid off of there, and moving the meteor around. It's obviously got some strength already, which is insane to me. So I highly recommend that you go follow this account, Kin Panama, and tell him thank you for at least giving us the opportunity to try to understand this. I feel it's a huge warning to us all, considering we've been seeing the things that we've been seeing with drones and UAPs, or whatever you want to call these flying orbs and different things, over the White House, over assassination attempts, all over the place. China, Russia, Bolivia, Colombia. I see it everywhere. Mexico for sure. And obviously we see depictions of a lot of this stuff on the pieces from Mexico. Not this specifically, though. This one here definitely takes the cake, and I'll keep up on it as well, because there's not really any Instagram coverage of it.
Okay. So, Panama meteor gives man superpowers. Okay, this is the video. It's not from his channel.
Right.
But let's see what he says.
So he now has superpowers. The meteorite in Panama that fell, they had the black venom goo on it. Now he actually touched it when he was trying to move it as a sample. The thing basically grew in a petri dish, and now it's grown into what we can only describe as some sort of entity. He touched it, and now he's got this black goo growing up his arm, and his arm is grown to like 3 times its size. Scientists are trying to break into his house. He's holding them off. He's put his palm up against the door. He won't let them in. They need to test it. They need to test him. They might need to biohazard him down. So this is really interesting. It's coming to a Mexican standoff, and the entire Central America, the entire Americas, might be in jeopardy unless we have some sort of superhero come in to save the day, like Spider-Man or Superman or somebody else from the Marvel galaxy. What do you think? What's your comment?
Okay, this sounds like a lot of bullshit. Let's just check his account at Kin Panama. Kin Panama, sorry.
It was me in there. I get there.
No, I went through our
Oh no, I'm going to get goop on me.
Okay, Kin Panama, the latest. So this is the guy.
With the goop. Yep.
Yeah. So let's see. Oh shit.
Querían verlo.
So in this one, it doesn't. Okay, this wasn't the latest one. Let's go with the. So that guy was full of shit, kinda, because this guy is still nothing happening. That those storms that he mentioned, like, I don't know where he got his information from. All right, yeah, it's still going on.
Well,
But it was interesting that you see like a life form,
Yeah.
black gooey life form that can take the shape of whatever it wants. Apparently,
I see.
yeah. Don't touch it though, dude. Don't touch it with your hands, you dumb
You'll get a
motherfucker.
tattoo up your arm. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see.
Ancient life on Mars.
Yeah, NASA apparently they have a presentation or something that was live, and they say they have some evidence of objects that they found, that this object has been made or influenced by some type of life form,
Okay.
but like very long time ago.
You mean bacterial life or something a little more evolved?
So I'm not sure what exactly was. It's a rock from Mars with leopard spots.
Mm-hmm.
The spots may suggest ancient microbial life. Okay, microbial.
Yeah, yeah.
Microbial.
Yes. So that's not at all surprising, in my opinion.
Okay.
When you consider that some million years ago, there was an atmosphere on Mars and definitely some form of life.
The spots may suggest ancient microbial life. No confirmation of aliens, but the strongest hint so far.
Well, the alien microbes. There you go.
Yeah. Like finding fossils on Earth is signal
Yes,
of past life. Yeah.
But it's well known that Mars has had an atmosphere, and it's not me making up stories. They can see that there have been rivers and air of some description around the planet, and probably blown to bits by, I don't know if it was a natural phenomenon or atomic weapon or something. It seems to have been obliterated almost instantaneously at some point in the past.
Weapon of mass destruction.
Yeah, sure. One of those Iraqi jobs, probably. Yeah. Or something has happened there, but I'm glad to see that there are still some specific signs of life and probably some microbial life left.
Yeah. Anything that even slightly help to prove there is life out there comes out from NASA, I appreciate.
Yeah, absolutely. I
However
quite agree.
little it is.
Yes,
Like,
definitely.
yeah, microbes maybe.
Yeah. I mean, we probably started as microbes way back, millions and years ago, or billions, somewhere back there.
Based on evolution theory, we did. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I don't totally buy, but I think a lot of it's got truth in it, as with all things. What have we got here now, mister?
It makes sense that we are all, like, if you think about quantum entanglement and everything, like, connected in terms of, like, simultaneously they work together and they change and they, like, affect it in the same way. Then this makes sense that the universe, the whole thing,
The whole cosmos, even.
Cosmos, whatever you want to call it, simulation, universe, whatever concept you accept it, is one thing. And that one thing is apparently like the whole universe fits inside one proton.
That's pretty little. Yeah.
And that doesn't make sense when you hear it. It's like, what? What are you talking about?
I don't think we have the capacity to comprehend that frankly. But I know if you start looking at quantum physics, it's really scary. You know, you get, okay, we see a solid table here and a microphone, I see you. But then we get down to the molecular level and we think, okay, that must be the solid bit, but it's not. Get down to the atomic level, no. Subatomic, just frequencies and energy. And then get below that, it's the same. There's nothing there. Well, very, very, very little. As you say, everything in the cosmos fits inside a proton. And my pea brain cannot really take that in, even though I accept it here. I don't know if it's for you, but that it's like, you're talking about simulations. There you got it, mate. Everything's a simulation, whether you like it or not.
It's just entropy. Like, it started from one proton.
Yeah.
It was dense. Because, okay, I'm going to show you how it can fit inside one proton.
That's a concept of Taoism too, of course. Microcosm is macrocosm. That whatever we are is the cosmos too. And whatever the cosmos is in us. Yeah.
Let's see.
You're saying the whole of the universe can exist in one electron?
The Dalai Lama wrote a book called The Entire Universe in One Atom. And then when the three of us were invited...
Where does Dalai Lama got this idea from? Inside the universe, entire the universe inside one atom.
I do know there's a Buddhist saying, or whatever you would call it, everything is nothing and nothing is everything. And it sounds pretty much like what they're talking about.
Yeah, but Dalai Lama wrote a book with this title.
Yeah.
Like exactly this title.
Yes. Yeah, I realize that. Yeah. That's fantastic. But I'm just saying, I don't think this concept is, well, it's not even strange in Christianity. I'm just trying to think of the words, but basically Jesus was saying we are one. We're one with God. We're one. I don't remember the words, but it's not a strange concept, really. No, it's not a concept that's foreign to us. I think it's very strange.
I buy that. All right,
but I totally do buy it myself too.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I mean, you know, when I'm in deep meditation, I feel it. I feel the oneness, you know, there is no separation with anything. It's just my head that then has a little volcanic breakdown.
I wish more of us feel that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right, let's see.
Myself and Nassim Haramein and someone else were invited to speak with the Dalai Lama. 4 years ago, he had invited us. He said, I want to know about your work. And I pushed Nassim forward. I said, tell him about your finding with it. And he said, I have this equation that proves what you wrote in your book 15 years ago. He says, I actually proven, here's the equation. And he gave him the math of it, that the entire mass of the known universe, when reduced, take all the space out, it will fit inside one proton. Which
Mind-blowing.
But it explains omniscience and omnipresence.
It explains everything. All points in space and time are connected. All the oneness of the creator, that everything is connected. Self-symmetry.
At a distance, everything.
Even what you're talking entanglement,
Yeah,
talking about the imprint of the mass is the fingerprint of like the micro also. This is probably the fundamental thing we talk about here, which is essentially by working on healing yourself and healing and aligning your world, you heal the whole. And why we don't need to necessarily go beyond the boundaries of our own reality to adjust and correct and evolve the self and the whole simultaneously.
All the teachings tell you to go within.
Thanks.
So yeah, this was interesting.
Kind of gives you a big perspective on things, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's the perspective you need to live your life based on.
Yeah, so it makes things like paying the tax and doctor's appointments, and it seems so trivial. And dentists and fixing cars and that. It's like it's all,
I think billionaires need to take a ayahuasca trip and listen to stuff like this.
oh my goodness.
And then after 24 hours or whatever, then they decide how they want to continue. Or they still want to do the same way that they suck life out of people with the corporate shit that they got going on.
Yes.
Or they want to there was this CEO, I don't know if I mentioned it before, that he reduced his salary from 1.1 million to $70,000.
Yes.
And he gives $70,000 to all of his employees. So
Fantastic.
and the productivity tripled in his company.
I will well believe that.
And you see,
Excellent.
because people feel acknowledged and appreciated, and you feel I know I'm not doing just bare minimum to just don't get fired. This is my company. If we have more productivity, my salary would raise too. I personally will be affected by it.
So you've taken away the us and them aspect, which is brilliant.
No, little tweak, huh? They don't want that.
No.
Okay, we don't want to get into that.
No.
Yeah,
That's,
all right.
that's a hot potato.
Another time.
Move along.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. Let's see here. This was an interesting concept. I've heard it. It's not necessarily true, but it's interesting. When you sleep, when you're tired, your body is tired and your mind is clouded, and you fall asleep. If it's your body and whatever structure is up here, mind, brain, whatever, definitely it's not your consciousness.
Sure.
Because I think consciousness is connected to your soul.
This is just a machine.
It's connected to the source. This is just a machine. And what he says is when you fall asleep, when your body cannot go on, it's because your body is holding on to this consciousness and soul and spend all this energy to hold on to it and don't let it out.
Yeah.
And when it's finally breaking down and it's out of battery or, out of energy, it let it out. And that's why you dream. That's why you can, in your dream, weird shit can happen. You can simultaneously be in two different worlds.
Oh, yeah.
There is possibilities are endless when you're dreaming.
Oh, it's amazing. Sleep to me is just Disneyland. I love it.
Yeah.
I work consciously very much on how I sleep. I'm not saying I'm an expert on it, but I know what affects my sleep. If I go to sleep tired or grumpy, it's not going to be a good night. I don't have any choice sometimes. If I'm so tired, I haven't got a choice. But I know how I wake up in the morning, and it's not always that wonderful. I might probably wake up still tired. Well, less tired, hopefully. But if I can manage to go into a deep meditative state and deeply relaxed, the sleep is not only more restorative, but I have the most amazing experiences at night. I wouldn't call a lot of them dreams by a long shot. A lot of them are. I think for me, the dreams depend very much on what's unfinished during the day or things that I'm worrying about. And so that's okay. I recognize those. But then there happen other things too, which I don't know what you'd call them, but, well, I do know what you call them. It's trips.
Downloads?
Downloads something I do consciously during the daytime.
But do you do it while you're sleeping?
Yeah, often get information. Absolutely. Yeah, I think we all do. I'm nothing special. We all get information to dreams. Yeah. I think the challenge is to know how to interpret it
Yeah, or take it seriously, or
or
not.
take it seriously. Yeah, I mean, and that applies to
Take it into the consideration.
yeah.
Some people are like,
It
was
is a
weird
real
dream."
art to interpret our dreams and our nocturnal experiences.
True.
Yeah. But I had discovered dream-wise essentially two categories of normal dreams. Nearly all of them are symbolic dreams, where there's a crocodile water skiing with a tutu on or whatever. And if you take time, that is going to have some significance to me. I just made that bit up. It wasn't real. But then there have been some instances in my life when I've had real dreams of things that really do happen. They're very rare and usually not anything that's terribly significant, but sometimes it has been. My elder sister was lost we thought she was lost in the Australian outback. And I had this dream that, I saw her and her boyfriend, and their car had broken down, and they were away out in the outback, but they weren't in trouble. They had food and water. They didn't have mobile phones because there weren't any. But I could see from the dream that they were going to be okay. Just a matter of time till someone came and found them, which someone did. And they got home. And this is what I saw in the dream when my sister got back to civilization was she described what I told her, and it was true dream. That was how it looked. And that was a good dream because I was able to tell my parents, oh, look, I saw Leslie, she's fine. She's just car crapped out. I had another one. Some good friends of mine were going to buy a farm in New Zealand. At that stage, they lived here in Sweden. And I knew they were going to buy a farm, but that was all right. And I had this dream, very graphic dream and I was with them looking at this farm. So I thought, this is strange. So I woke up and wrote down all the details, the layout of the farm, where the house was. There was a swimming pool here, horse stable over here, and what color the house was, and the trees, and blah, blah, blah. And I gave it to them, thinking, oh, look, I said, here's the dream I had. Anyway, probably 6 months later, they were in New Zealand, and they found this place exactly as it was, but in mirror image. And they still live there to this day. So those are oddball dreams. They don't happen very often. Mostly it's the symbolic ones. But I know often in our dreams we travel to other dimensions too, maybe other times, for whatever reasons. I don't know, something we need to find out or experience. I think sleep's huge.
I think there is a whole science about dreams and how the science of it is to how to control your dreams, how to be present, kind of.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm way off being an expert on that, but I have a lot of fun learning.
Okay, let's see what is this whole thing.
Oh, yes, that's sure.
Every night we go to sleep, and nobody questions where do we go. I've often asked, do you punch a ticket? Do you have a transfer? What vehicle do you use? How much fuel does it take? And where do you go? Everybody on earth that has a soul sleeps, unless you're very refined, and even then you may sleep at least once a month. Sleep really means that your body can no longer hold the soul because it's run out of energy. And the body becomes so despicably horrible to the soul that until it cleans up itself, the soul leaves. So each night you die. You will die every 3 days, or you will die standing up. You can go to sleep standing up. People had guard duty, just going through. They'll be with you, they're still there. But you have to go to sleep because the energy in your body is not strong enough to maintain you. So you have to get out so the body can renew itself. You, as a soul, go out and receive some energy, jump back into the body, and then you go.
Yeah. Wise man. I believe him.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I'm not sure the details, but I believe essentially what he's saying. For sure.
Yeah, so there are more to talk about, but we can like
We
have
have
another,
yes.
go at it.
A lot more to talk about.
Yeah.
And I would be interested in some follow-up on that goo monster from the meteor.
Yeah, we definitely
And-
follow it up. But
yeah.
as I said, like I saw weird videos that this,
Yeah.
like it turns to like a huge creature, 2 meters, and like with like almost like literally like Venom lookalike. And so it's a lot of bullshit out there too.
And going back to the comets, I would dearly like to see if my cousin can come on here again and talk about them. If she has any knowledge she would like to share with us
Yeah,
on them.
we should definitely have her on.
Because it's coming, if those are coming up soon, it will be good just to, as a background.
Get her
to-
perspective on it.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be excellent. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching. If you want us to invite Kim Joblin, astrologer, to get her takes on it, on these comets and on these interstellar objects coming through our solar system, comment. Let us know. Let us know what you think about all the topics that we covered today. And see you next time.
For sure.
Yeah. Thank you.